Dr. Elias Ward had always imagined himself as a quiet man, the kind who preferred numbers, patterns, and the calm hum of machines over the unpredictable chaos of people. His work at the orbital research station Orion, floating hundreds of kilometers above Earth, was exactly the kind of life he liked. The station was a marvel of human engineering, designed to study alien life forms brought from distant planets. He had spent years cataloging, observing, and learning from these creatures. Yet, for all his skill, Elias had never worked with an assistant. Until now, the announcement had been simple. The station needed an assistant to help with research, maintain records, and sometimes accompany scientists on exploratory missions. Easy work, Elias had thought. Mostly paperwork, observations, maybe some lab experiments, nothing too complicated. He had expected a young human intern, a student eager to learn, perhaps clumsy, but manageable. What he did not expect was her. The selection ceremony took place in the main observation hall of the station. The hall was vast, with walls made of transparent panels that allowed a breathtaking view of the stars. Dozens of candidates, mostly human, lined up in neat rows, their eyes wide with excitement and nervousness. A soft light bathed the room, reflecting off the polished floors, giving the place a calm, almost sacred feeling. Elias checked his notes for the 100th time. "Remember, it's just a routine selection," he muttered to himself. "Focus on the human candidates." And then, she appeared. She didn't walk in the way humans walked. She seemed to glide, as if floating on air. Her skin shimmered faintly, changing color with every movement, like liquid light. Her eyes were large and bright, a swirling mixture of green and gold. The room seemed to pause when she entered. The other candidates frozen in a mixture of fear and awe. Elias blinked. That can't be right," he whispered. The selection process began. Candidates were asked to step forward one by one, and the station's advanced AI would analyze their skills, behavior, and compatibility with the research team. Elias watched patiently, expecting the AI to hum and beep, then point to a human candidate. Instead, it hummed, paused, and then projected a soft blue light in front of him. He looked up. The alien girl was standing there, her eyes fixed on him. And then, without warning, she raised her hand. The blue light grew brighter, and a voice soft but clear entered his mind. "You are my companion." Elias froze. His mouth opened, but no words came out. His heart raced. He looked around, but no one else seemed to notice anything unusual. The other candidates were still waiting for the AI's decision, whispering nervously among themselves. "You." "What?" he finally managed to say, his voice trembling. The girl tilted her head, as if amused by his confusion. "I choose you," she repeated, this time in a gentle tone that seemed to vibrate inside his skull. Elias stumbled backward. "But I'm supposed to choose. I mean, it's supposed to be not." He paused, realizing he sounded ridiculous. "I'm not. I didn't." "You did not need to choose," she said simply. "I choose." The staff exchanged nervous glances. The station AI confirmed the selection. Elias's mind spun. He was supposed to hire an assistant, not become one. And yet, here he was, chosen by an alien being he had never met. "Why me?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Lyra, the girl's name, he would soon learn, smiled. It was not a human smile. Exactly. It was more like a gentle ripple of light passing over her face. "Because you are different. Your mind, your heart, your choices, they are unique. I need a companion who can understand both humans and the universe. You are the one." Elias shook his head, trying to process it all. "I'm not ready for this. I don't know anything about being whatever you mean by companion." "You will learn," she said simply, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. "We will learn together." For the next hour, Elias tried to follow protocol. He introduced himself, explained his work, and attempted to complete the necessary paperwork. But Lyra seemed to ignore all of it, drifting around the room, observing the other candidates, and occasionally touching a panel or a holographic display. Every time she looked at him, he felt a strange connection, a silent understanding that went beyond words. Finally, the ceremony ended. Human candidates were dismissed with polite applause, their faces a mixture of relief and disappointment. Elias remained, unsure of what to do next. Lyra floated closer. "Come," she said, "I will show you." He hesitated. The word "come" was simple, but somehow it carried the weight of a command and a promise. Taking a deep breath, Elias followed. They moved through the station, passing corridors lined with glowing panels and transparent doors, revealing laboratories full of alien specimens. Lyra led him to a small chamber that had been reserved for her study. Inside, the walls were covered with strange symbols and holographic screens displaying stars, planets, and alien life forms in real time. "This will be your workspace," she said. "We will begin tomorrow." Elias looked around, overwhelmed. I don't even know where to start." "You start by observing," Lyra said. "Then by learning. And then by understanding." Her words were simple, but they carried weight. Elias realized that this was not going to be a normal job. This was a journey into something far bigger than he had imagined. That night, as he lay in his small quarters aboard the station, he thought about the strange girl who had chosen him. The stars outside the window twinkled as they always did, but now they seemed closer, more alive. He could not explain it, but he felt as if something in the universe had noticed him. By morning, he found Lyra waiting at the doorway. "Are you ready?" she asked. Elias nodded, though his stomach twisted with nerves. "I guess I don't have a choice." "You always have a choice," she replied softly. "You chose to follow me. That is the first step." Their first task together was simple on the surface. Lyra led him to a containment chamber, holding a small alien creature no bigger than a rabbit, with translucent skin and glowing veins. Elias had observed hundreds of creatures, but this one was different. It seemed to respond to Lyra, relaxing in her presence and even moving closer to her. "Watch," she instructed. "See how it reacts." Elias observed carefully. The creature's body glowed brighter when Lyra extended a hand toward it. When he tried the same, it shrank back, unsure. He realized that the girl's connection with life, alien or human, was extraordinary. "You understand now," Lyra said. "I did not choose you because you are the strongest or the smartest. I chose you because you are human. You think, you feel, you adapt. You will help me understand humans better, and I will help you understand the universe." Elias felt a mixture of awe and fear. The girl's words were not a compliment or a threat, they were a statement of fact. She had chosen him, and that choice carried responsibility he could not yet comprehend. Days passed. The routine of the station continued: data collection, observation, and careful study of alien species, but now, Elias had a new purpose. He was not just a scientist. He was a companion. Lyra guided him in subtle ways, showing him how to sense the energy of creatures, interpret their behavior, and even communicate through thought, though he struggled with it. Other staff members watched with curiosity and skepticism. Some whispered that Elias had lost his mind, being chosen by an alien. Others wondered if he had discovered a new form of communication. Elias himself was unsure. All he knew was that the universe felt different now, alive, waiting. One evening, as the station drifted past a distant nebula, Elias stood at the observation deck, Lyra beside him. "Do you ever wonder why the stars feel alive?" he asked. Lyra smiled, a ripple of light passing across her face. "They are alive, and they notice us too. You have been chosen, Elias, because you can see them, not just with your eyes but with your mind and heart. That is rare." Elias looked at her, then at the infinite expanse of stars stretching beyond the station. For the first time in his life, he felt the universe was not something to study, it was something to experience. and he knew that being Lyra's companion was only the beginning. He did not know what the future held. He did not know where this journey would take him. But for the first time, he felt ready to step into the unknown. The stars outside shimmered like distant promises. And somewhere deep within, Elias felt a spark of courage he never knew he had. The adventure had begun. The morning sun, or what passed for morning on the station, was a soft glow bouncing off the metal panels of Orbital Research Station Orion. Dr. Elias Ward had barely slept. Thoughts of Lyra and her strange, shimmering presence filled his mind. Last night, staring at the stars, he had realized that this assignment was far more than a job. He had been chosen for a purpose that he did not yet understand. When he entered the observation hall, Lyra was already waiting. She seemed to float rather than walk, her luminous skin glowing faintly in the soft light. She turned to him and smiled, her kind of smile, warm yet mysterious. "Are you ready to learn today?" she asked. Elias swallowed hard. "I think so." Lyra extended her hand toward the chamber, where alien specimens were kept. "We begin with understanding life," she said simply. "All life, human, alien, and beyond. Observation is the first step to connection." Her words were straightforward, but Elias knew better. Lyra did not speak casually. Every word carried meaning, a lesson hidden beneath its simplicity. They entered the chamber together. Rows of translucent containers held creatures of all shapes and sizes, small glowing insects, amphibian-like beings, and tiny mammals with crystalline fur. Elias had catalogued many of them before. But Lyra's approach was different. She did not rely on equipment alone. She placed her hand gently on the glass, closing her eyes for a moment. Elias watched in awe. The creatures stirred, reacting to her presence. One of the small mammals, a creature resembling a rabbit, but covered in faintly glowing scales, hopped closer to her hand. When Elias tried to touch it, it pulled back. "She can connect with them in ways you cannot," Lyra said, her voice echoing softly in his mind. "You will learn, but not in the way humans usually do. You observe. You feel. You understand." Elias nodded, a mixture of wonder and confusion in his chest. He was a scientist. He believed in data, experiments, and facts. Yet Lyra's connection to life seemed to go beyond science, into something that was almost spiritual. Over the next few days, she guided him through new ways of observing creatures, teaching him to notice subtle patterns, how the animals reacted to light, to sound, even to his own presence. She explained the concept of energy flow, not energy like electricity, but the essence that connected all living things. Elias struggled at first, skeptical of the idea, but slowly, he began to notice changes. The creatures responded differently to him as he followed Lyra's instructions. "You are learning," Lyra said one afternoon as they watched a small flock of floating jellyfish-like beings drift inside a zero-gravity chamber. "Humans have the ability to adapt. That is why I chose you. Other species are strong, fast, or wise, but humans can change when it is necessary. That is rare." Elias felt a strange pride. He had always considered humans fragile, ordinary, limited by their physical and mental boundaries. Yet Lyra's words suggested that the very limitations he had seen as weaknesses might be humanity's greatest strength. Then, one day, the unexpected happened. The station's sensors began to beep urgently. Red lights flashed along the corridors. Elias and Lyra rushed to the main observation deck. On the central display, an alert blinked. An unauthorized vessel had approached the station, moving through space with astonishing speed. Lyra's eyes widened, not in fear, but in recognition. "They are here," she said. "We are being watched and tested." Elias felt a chill run down his spine. Who are they?" "They are rivals," she replied. "Their goal is control. They seek our technology, our knowledge, and they will take it if we do not act carefully. But do not be afraid. You are ready. More than you know." The station's automated systems attempted to communicate with the vessel, but there was no response. The alien ship, sleek and dark, hovered at a distance, scanning the station like a predator. Elias's mind raced. He was a scientist, not a fighter. How could he possibly deal with an interstellar threat? Lyra noticed his concern. "Your role is not to fight," she said calmly. "Your role is to understand. Observe their patterns. Predict their actions. That is human strength." Elias swallowed hard. He had never been in a situation like this. Yet as he watched the alien ship, he realized she was right. His mind, trained to notice detail, could see patterns others might miss. For hours, he monitored the ship's movements, noting its speed, rotation, and the way it scanned the station. Lyra guided him in subtle ways, teaching him to sense shifts in energy, tiny pulses that indicated the ship's intent. By nightfall, Elias had compiled a strategy, a way to predict the vessel's next moves. "Good," Lyra said, her eyes glowing with faint pride. "You are beginning to see beyond what the eyes show. You are thinking as I do." The alien vessel moved closer. And then something remarkable happened. A beam of light extended from the ship, scanning the station's hull. Alarms blared. Elias's heart pounded. He could see the crew panicking. He turned to Lyra. "What do we do?" he whispered. She placed a hand on his shoulder. "You do what humans do best. Adapt. Decide. Act." Elias focused, recalling every observation, every detail he had noted. He instructed the station to activate a series of shields and deploy holographic decoys, simple human ingenuity, guided by Lyra's alien understanding. The alien ship's sensors were confused, unable to predict the station's responses. The red alarms faded, replaced by a steady green glow. The threat had been neutralized for now. The crew cheered. Elias, breathing heavily, realized he had done something he never imagined. He had saved the station, not with weapons, but with observation, calculation, and human creativity. Lyra's voice echoed in his mind. "You see, you are more than you believe. That is why I chose you." Over the next days, Elias and Lyra continued their work, but the encounter with the rival vessel left a lasting impression. Elias began to understand that being Lyra's companion was not just about study or observation. It was about responsibility, protecting life, understanding intentions, and acting with courage. Lyra introduced him to more advanced alien technology, each device more extraordinary than the last. She showed him star maps that revealed hidden interstellar pathways, tools that could analyze life on a molecular level, and holographic simulations of entire planets. Elias's mind reeled. "This is incredible," he said one evening, floating in the zero-gravity lab with Lyra. "I never imagined anything like this could exist." It's beautiful," Lyra smiled. "Beauty is in understanding. When you see life, all life, as connected, you will see beauty everywhere. And humans have a gift for connection. That is why I chose you." Elias began to feel a deep sense of purpose. For years, he had studied alien life from a distance, careful and detached. Now, with Lyra, he was part of something bigger, a network of understanding that spanned planets, species, and perhaps even galaxies. One night, as the station drifted past a glowing nebula, Elias stood at the observation deck. Lyra appeared beside him, her eyes reflecting the swirling colors of space. "Do you understand why I chose you?" she asked. "I think so," he replied slowly. "You see something in humans that others might not. Our ability to adapt, our creativity, our courage." Lyra nodded. "Yes, and that is why we will face challenges. You will be tested, Elias. The universe is not always kind, but together, we will meet it." Elias looked out at the stars, feeling both awe and determination. The rival alien faction was only the beginning. He could feel it. This journey would take him far beyond anything he had ever imagined. But he also knew that he was not alone. Lyra's choice had given him purpose, courage, and a companion who could guide him through the unknown. The next day, a new alert flashed on the station's display. An unknown planet had been detected near a previously unexplored star system. Lyra turned to him, her eyes glowing softly. "Shall we see what awaits?" she asked. Elias nodded. "Yes." And so, their adventure continued. Together, they would explore new worlds, encounter life forms beyond imagination, and face dangers that would test their minds, hearts, and courage. Elias had stepped into the unknown, and for the first time, he felt alive in a way he never had before. The stars outside shimmered, endless and inviting. And somewhere deep within, Elias felt a spark of determination. He had been chosen, and he would rise to the challenge. The universe awaited. The stars stretched endlessly outside the observation window of Orbital Research Station. Orion, shimmering like tiny fires in the dark. Dr. Elias Ward had grown used to seeing them every day. But now, after weeks with Lyra, they felt different. Alive. Watching. Full of possibility. He floated near the lab, examining a holographic display of a newly discovered planet. Lyra hovered beside him, her eyes glowing softly. "This is the world I spoke of," she said. "It is uncharted, rich with life forms, and it may hold answers about the universe, and about humans." Elias nodded. He had come a long way from the timid scientist who had been chosen as a companion. Now, with Lyra guiding him, he felt like an explorer, a bridge between humanity and the cosmos. Still, a small part of him was anxious. "What if we are not ready?" he asked. "What if we encounter something we cannot handle?" Lyra smiled, the gentle ripple of light across her face calming him. "You are ready because you have learned to adapt. Because you care. And because you are human. That is something no technology or alien skill can replace." Elias took a deep breath and followed her as they prepared the station's shuttle for departure. The vessel was small but equipped with advanced alien navigation systems. As they moved through the docking bay, Elias looked at Lyra. "Where do we start?" "By seeing," she said simply. "By understanding. And by respecting all that we find." The shuttle launched, gliding smoothly into the endless dark of space. Elias felt the familiar hum of the engines, but now, it was accompanied by something new. Excitement. Adventure. A sense that every star, every planet, held secrets waiting for him to discover. When they approached the planet, Elias was struck by its beauty. It was covered with glowing forests, rivers that sparkled with colored light, and towering mountains that shimmered like crystals. Alien creatures moved gracefully across the land, some familiar, some utterly unlike anything he had imagined. Lyra guided him through their first landing. The shuttle touched down gently on a smooth plateau. Elias stepped out, the alien air brushing against his skin. It smelled faintly sweet, like flowers mixed with rain. Small creatures scurried nearby, observing him with curious eyes. "This planet," Lyra said, "tests the adaptability of all who visit. It is a place where knowledge and empathy must work together. Humans have a gift for this. That is why you are here." Elias nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility. He had spent his life observing life from a distance. Now, he was part of it. He realized that being Lyra's companion was not only about learning, it was about contributing, protecting, and understanding. They moved deeper into the glowing forest. Elias noticed patterns in the plants and animals, subtle rhythms in the way energy flowed through the land. Lyra showed him how to sense these patterns, teaching him a form of communication that did not rely on words. Elias felt his mind expanding, learning to perceive the universe in ways he had never imagined. As they explored, they encountered a strange species of creatures. They were large, with translucent skin, and moved as if they were made of liquid light. At first, the creatures seemed cautious, retreating when Elias approached. But Lyra extended her hand, and the beings slowly came closer. "See," she said, "connection comes from understanding, not force. Humans have the ability to empathize in ways other species cannot. You will learn to do this too." Elias tried. He focused on observing their movements, their energy, and their reactions. Slowly, he felt a response, a subtle shift, as if the creatures recognized his intentions. He smiled. Lyra's guidance worked. Together, they communicated without words, creating a bond built on trust and understanding. Their exploration was not without challenges. A sudden storm swept across the planet, sending glowing lightning streaking through the sky. Trees bent under the force of the wind, and the ground shook as the creatures scattered. Elias and Lyra took shelter in a nearby cave, the walls glowing faintly with minerals that pulsed in rhythm with the planet's energy. "This is a test," Lyra said. "The universe often challenges us to see how we respond. Observe, adapt, and act. That is human strength." Elias watched as the storm raged outside. He realized that he had changed. He was no longer a timid scientist, afraid of the unknown. He was a companion, a protector, and a learner. He had the courage to face danger and the mind to understand it. When the storm passed, they emerged into the calm aftermath. The planet was transformed, the glowing forests reflected the sunlight differently, and the creatures slowly returned to their places. Elias felt a deep sense of connection, not just to the life around him, but to the universe itself. Days passed, and they continued to explore. Elias cataloged new species, studied the planet's unique energy patterns, and even helped Lyra negotiate with creatures that initially seemed hostile. With each challenge, he grew more confident. He began to see patterns in alien behavior, predict actions, and make decisions that could affect entire ecosystems. One evening, as they rested on a crystalline hill, Elias looked at Lyra. "I never imagined life could be like this," he said softly. "I thought humans were ordinary, limited. But being with you, I feel like we can do anything." Lyra's eyes glowed warmly. "Humans are extraordinary when they see beyond themselves. That is why I chose you. You are not just a companion to me. You are a companion to life itself, to the universe." Elias felt a swell of pride and humility. He realized that his role was greater than he had ever imagined. He was not only learning from Lyra, he was helping her understand humans and, through her, teaching the universe about humanity's potential. Their adventure soon took a surprising turn. A signal reached them from a nearby star system, an alien civilization requesting assistance. Their technology was failing, and they sought knowledge that only Lyra and her companion could provide. Elias hesitated. The task was enormous, and he knew the stakes were high. But Lyra touched his shoulder gently. "You have learned to adapt, to observe, to act. Now is the time to use what you have learned." He nodded. "Then let's go." The journey to the distant system tested everything they had learned. Navigating through asteroid fields, decoding alien languages, and interpreting unfamiliar energy patterns pushed Elias to his limits. But he discovered strengths he had never known. His human intuition, combined with Lyra's advanced understanding, allowed them to solve problems that might have been impossible for either species alone. When they arrived, they found the alien civilization in chaos. Machines were failing, energy systems unstable, and fear evident in the creatures' eyes. Elias immediately set to work, applying methods he had learned from Lyra. He observed patterns, coordinated the aliens' efforts, and used a mix of human problem-solving and Lyra's alien guidance to stabilize the systems. The alien beings watched him with awe. They had never seen a human act with such clarity and purpose in combination with an advanced alien. Slowly, hope returned. Systems hummed, energy stabilized, and the civilization was saved. Lyra looked at Elias with pride. "You see? Humans can rise to challenges beyond imagination. That is why I chose you. That is why humanity has a future among the stars." Elias felt a warmth in his chest he had never experienced. He had begun as a simple scientist, seeking an assistant. Now, he was more than that. He was a companion, a bridge between species, a representative of humanity in the vast universe. As they left the system, traveling through space toward new adventures, Elias gazed at the stars. They seemed closer now, alive in ways he could feel. He turned to Lyra. "Where to next?" he asked. Lyra smiled. "Wherever life calls. Wherever understanding is needed. The universe is vast, Elias. And we are only beginning." Elias nodded. "Then let's go." Together, they journeyed through uncharted space, discovering new worlds, connecting with life forms, and facing challenges that tested their courage, intellect, and empathy. Each experience strengthened their bond, and Elias grew into the companion Lyra had always believed he could be. He learned that being chosen was not a burden, it was an opportunity. An opportunity to show that humanity, despite its flaws and limitations, could rise to challenges beyond imagination. That through curiosity, compassion, and courage, humans could be a force of understanding and connection in the cosmos. One night, as they rested on a small moon orbiting a brilliant gas giant, Elias looked at Lyra. "I understand now," he said. "Being a companion isn't just about learning from you, it's about teaching, sharing, and showing what humans can do." Lyra's eyes glowed softly. "Yes. And that is only the beginning. There is much more to see, much more to learn, and much more to share. Humanity has a place among the stars, Elias. You are proof of that." Elias smiled, feeling a sense of purpose he had never known. He had been chosen for something greater than he could have imagined. He was a companion, a protector, and a learner. And together with Lyra, he would explore the universe, connect with life, and show that humanity was more extraordinary than anyone had believed. The stars outside shimmered endlessly, and Elias felt their energy, their promise, and their invitation. Adventure awaited, and he, a simple scientist once seeking an assistant, had become a companion of the stars. The universe was vast. But with Lyra by his side, Elias knew he could meet it with courage, understanding, and hope. Humanity's journey among the stars had begun, and he was ready for everything that lay ahead.